Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City Media podcast. Stepping up to the microphones are your hosts, Trey Lasley and TJ Willis. Pull up your chair, grab your favorite brew, and enjoy the conversation. Now, let's get to the show.
What up, fam? Welcome to the 73rd edition of Untapping These Tigs. I'm here with my co-host, none other than modern-day Johnny Bravo himself. Look at that Rico Suave hair going tonight.
I'm telling you what, man.
How much pomade you got in there? You got a lot of body and volume tonight.
It's just the hair, man. It's just what it does. I don't know what to tell you.
Is the Justin Bieber swoosh on purpose, or is it
you got
just
a fresh cut recently?
No, maybe a couple weeks ago.
Spring cut?
It's just my hair. After I cut off the man bun, man, it just decided it's going to change the way it lays, and this is how it lays, and here we are. So
it's good. That is television hair. I'll give you that. It is YouTube podcast hair for sure.
This was put together at 7 a.m. this morning. So here we are.
7 a.m.
If we were to put
held strong.
If we were to put a power rankings together for BCM hair, TJ would have to be at the top, right? Like, isn't that what we're thinking? It's definitely not me.
Even pre-cut.
Ooh, that's a good point. Let's think. That's got to be tough. What about Mark? Mark's up there, right?
Mark King. Yeah, that's rude. That's just disrespectful.
She's not going to listen, so it's fine.
That's
we can take shots.
DJ, that's disgusting. Timothy, tell the folks what we're drinking at home this evening, since we are still in the virtual studio. Let you guys at home know Kenny sent us the link for tonight's StreamYard. I didn't even respond. I just disliked it because, quite frankly, I don't like this virtual studio.
I feel you. What is that drink? What is that?
We're working with Hampline Irish Goodbye.
The Irish Goodbye.
Red ale. Traditional red ale.
I tell you what, it is red.
Everything's blue in this room, so
And it is ale-y. And it is delicious. And our boy Natchez, he's got the Ireland flag waving on his trike. See him?
Always on the trike.
Always on the trike. All right, Timothy.
What it do?
The portal wasn't, we had no arrivals this week. No real departures. We had one confirmation of a trip that I don't know how you would still on time. And your boy, Nick Jourdain, has once again committed that he will be here next year. If his previous end of the year comments didn't have you convinced, if him being in the FedEx commercial for NIL didn't have you convinced, he went ahead for a third official I will be back. That fire you right up, Temple guy?
It's nice to have him back. I mean, it's nice to have anyone back, honestly. So definitely somebody who's been in the system for a little bit. Someone I think a lot of people probably had low expectations for. But I think at the end of the year, we're all pretty relatively surprised at how
pleased with what he was able to do.
Right?
Yeah. I guess the two biggest items is last time we spoke last week, there was some smoke, if you will. We saw some embers of Jayden Quaintance, who is no longer an acquaintance of the Memphis Tiger program. His visit was, how do we say that? It officially now is canceled, but at the time it was postponed.
Sure.
Sources would say that was postponed by the University of Memphis. Others would say it was a joint decision, a mutual breakup, if you will. But Quaintance has acquainted himself with a Hurley brother out there in the land of the Sun Devils, Arizona State commitment today. Word on the street Some have reported a $3 million check for Jayden out there.
That's bananas to me.
Are you terribly upset by missing out on Jayden?
No, I mean, I think financially you're already better off, right? I mean, everyone's talked about how much money it was going to take to get him.
Yeah.
And you're also in this interesting situation where you have Temple guy back. Dane Danger's here.
It's so full every time you say it. It's just
What?
in what you're saying, it's how you say it as well.
I don't know. It is what it is.
I'm going to give you another shot to redo that.
No, I mean, it is what it is. He's going to be back. That's great. Danger's here. There's talk of bringing Musa in. And I think if you're asking what's going to make you a better team this season, I think if you had to pick between a freshman or Musa, I think Musa makes you the better team. I think he completes what you're wanting to do more
probably on the
than
cheap.
Quaintance. And
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
definitely
going to
on
sit
cheap.
here and say that Moose is a better player than Quaintance, and definitely does not have the ceiling that Quaintance had.
Sure.
I also don't know that I think Moose is visiting or has visited Oklahoma State, which sounds silly to say considering the fact that he spent 2 years there. So
Yeah,
what exactly are you visiting? But I'm not upset. You know, I posted this in the Discord sort of as a joke, but also being fairly serious because the FedEx NIL deal was announced. And then there was talks of us legitimately within like less than a week turning around and giving 25% of that to a 16-year-old freshman on the basketball team. So don't hate that we're not doing that, but it would have been nice from a standpoint of right now your front court is Nick Jourdain and Dane Danger, and you need more because right now that's not exciting me.
Well, it's just also not enough. It's not enough bodies, right? I think that's one thing we've learned is you can have a million guys on the roster, but you're going to have a million guys that are playable. Is probably how we should word that, right? And I don't physically mean a million guys, right? I know Penny seems like he likes to play a million guys, but you just need more.
Woody, if he could,
more beneficial parts, right?
Sure. I mean, there are still pieces that you need for sure in the front court. The second news from the weekend is TJ Bamba. I don't feel that good about it. We got no commitment as of today. We're sitting here Monday, April 29th. I think his visit started Thursday night. Correct me if I'm wrong. No commitment as of now. I think there's rumors he wants to take at least 3 more visits. Typically, I would say if Penny has not gotten the commitment locked up by the end of the visit, historically, we're not getting it. I don't know. Feels a little Aaron Scottish to me. We felt good about it. He was on campus. You felt like that was a guy you were getting, and then he ultimately ends up at St. John's. A little bit similar here with TJ as he had a visit last week. Seemed to be a priority for the staff, wanted to focus on him. And you were unable to successfully lock that up over the weekend. So by all means, he has gone to that beautifully renovated, well, not even renovated, newly constructed terminal at the Memphis airport and has flown himself back home and then to other visits now.
Let me ask you this. How much of it do you think is David Jones' potential return, not return? How much does that affect a guy like Bamba committing, right?
I mean, I think it depends. I think the two of them can play together side by side, but ultimately it's going to affect somebody on this team. And I don't think that that's an unlikely scenario that we look up and DJ's gone through the draft. We're sitting here. He's got what? And I think it's a good sign that he has not entered the portal, given the new, even graduate transfers have to enter the portal by May 1st. By all accounts, DJ has not done that, but it would not surprise me to look up after, I don't know when all the pre-draft stuff is over, like when he's officially got a withdrawal or whatever, sometime in June. but him officially come back and then somebody deuce out because they were like, oh, I thought I was getting sort of a more starting role, potentially playing 25, 30 minutes a night. Now DJ's back, and that's going to take somebody's potential PT away. I don't know that would be Bamba, but I mean, it definitely could be if he's asking kind of what the thought process is there from the staff on DJ and his return and what things look like. If it's the two of them, or if he's not here, is he the I think it could definitely play a role, but ultimately it may just really be him wanting to take all of his visits and see what ultimately is the best situation for him.
Yeah, I mean, you get these visits. Why not take them, right? You're going to go to these places. They're going to treat you like royalty. They feed you, give you all the little snacks on your bed. You kidding me? I think you got to take some of these visits.
If you were on an official, TJ, what are your snacks?
Oh.
Are you allowed to request a 6-pack if you're of drinking age?
I don't see why not. Right?
Is that allowed? I don't know. I don't know how officials work.
My snacks, dude, man, probably some salt and vinegar, kettle cooked salt and vinegar chips.
Wow.
Particular
brand you have in mind?
Probably just the kettle brand.
Just the straight up kettle cooked brand.
Miss Vicky's, maybe. She's pretty good.
Yeah,
Miss Vicky's is good. Miss Vicky's is a staple at the Stubblefield house.
Oh yeah, we get them at Costco. The big old box of them.
Yeah,
my wife's been pushing Cape Cod lately, but
Cape Cods are good, but they don't have other flavors, aren't they? Just straight up kettle cooked, like salted potato chips. They don't have.
No, they have flavors. They're just a smaller bag.
I've never seen them. Wow.
Oh yeah, I'll take you some to work.
TJ's got a chip drawer at his.
You been going through my drawers, dude?
No, you showed me one day.
All right,
also,
TJ,
funny story.
Top
TJ has candy.
chip.
Kenny, listen to this. TJ has candy on his desk.
Yeah.
I walked over there the other day. He was not at his desk, but I was like, you know what? These Starbursts look fantastic. I'm going to take 2 of them. Get back to my desk, meeting the Starburst. I text TJ and I was like, hey, I took a Starburst. And he's like, oh, nice. I found those in a random desk the other day. I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, I just walked over to a desk and opened a drawer and they were in there. I was like, so you decided to put them out on your desk as if they were like, in my mind, Kenny, I'm thinking these things have been here since 2019. And
of course,
it's shut down.
Yeah.
So I immediately spit it out.
Did it still taste fresh?
Oh, it tasted fine, but I'm not trusting a Starburst that's been sitting in some unclaimed desk for 5 years.
I think that's fair.
And then TJ just thinks it's the funniest thing that's ever happened. And I text his wife and ask her, and she's like, I don't know where he got those. And then come to find out they had him at their house and he brought him up there or something stupid.
Wow. Yeah, we had them at our house. They
wasted a perfectly good pink Starburst because TJ told me he found them in a random drawer in the office.
Well, you probably should ask before eating it,
Anyway,
TJ, top 3 chips. Go.
Wow. This is going to be controversial for sure. Salt and vinegar kettle cooked. Do you want the brand?
I don't care. Just flavor. It's fine with me.
Salt and vinegar kettle cooked, specifically kettle cooked. People are gonna hate this. Funyuns. I freaking love Funyuns.
Why did I know you were gonna say that?
Funyuns aren't chips.
I think he's lying because yes, they're not chips. No. 2, I don't know that I've ever even seen TJ eat a Funyun.
Can you even get Funyuns anymore?
Oh, yes, I love Funyuns.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Funyuns
love Funyuns.
Are good. But I don't think that classifies as a chip. Aren't you the one that argues about Cheetos?
And my third would be probably like crunchy Cheetos. Yeah.
Your favorite would be crunchy Cheetos.
No. That's my third favorite. Number 1 is salt and vinegar. Yeah.
So you're. That's impressive. That's an impressive list. 2 of those would give awful breath. By the way, I just want to throw that out there to you.
You just don't. You can't be breathing fire on people, man.
That's a good point.
Goodness, speaking of fire stank today in the office. Holy Toledo. Kenny, somebody lit up the bathroom at work today and made the entire hallway. I felt like I was in the stall with them and I was just walking down the hall.
I know TJ's different from me in this. He has like a map laid out of gas stations that he'll take dumps in that are
No,
very specific.
he has a poop map. He is logged everywhere in the world. This includes international. He is
Right.
logged in France and several other places globally where he has
What are we
dropped the
doing here?
deuce.
This doesn't sound like TJ Bamba talk to me.
But how do you feel about
This
Would
is
you-
TJ dropping bombas all over the world talk.
Oh my gosh.
how do you feel about crop dusting or blowing up a bathroom in public like that at work? Like, is that something you would do?
Yeah,
I'll just
man.
say that if it had been
I'll
me
be
today of what happened, I would have immediately gone to the doctor.
Oh, wow.
To have the
Like-
ability to make the
like-
second floor of one of those office buildings stink like that is something's happening. Look at that map.
That is, man, you've been a lot of places.
That's
That's
just
the tri-state area.
no, that's
just
most of the
Memphis.
US. Most of the US.
Wow.
Wow. That's great. All right, back to Bamba.
International.
I don't feel confident right now. TJ, where are you at?
No.
Why don't you feel
confident.
why do you not feel confident about it?
Because he's left.
Okay, but so did JQ last year.
I don't want another JQ.
Well, I'm not talking about the kind of player that he is, but that's what happened with JQ.
Yeah,
Same thing
but that
happened
was
with
because he
Didn't
was
the
just
same thing
trying to
happen with
drive up-
Caleb? Didn't the same thing happen
Mills?
with Caleb? Yeah. Caleb
Did
didn't
he visit?
commit
Not
on-
make? Did he
I don't
not?
think he committed on his visit. I think he waited.
He was one of the earlier ones, though, too. Here's the problem with the JQ thing is like we knew what he was doing, right? He was driving the price up and just going to the highest bidder.
Isn't that the same thing here?
And exactly. And that's not, I don't want that. I don't want guys that are just looking for the most money. I want guys that want to come in and win regardless of what they're getting paid.
Guys
wanna be a part of-
at that level think they can do that anywhere. And that's okay. And I'm fine with
Well,
that.
that may be part of the problem.
I mean, I think guys like TJ Bamba, guys like Javon Quinterly think that they can go anywhere and win. But in this day and age, they're thinking about that one last potential, payday before they go pro. And I'm okay with that. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Hey, yeah, looking out for yourself, but still, him
Yeah.
getting out of Penny's sights and in the city and not committing. I'm just saying, historically, I don't think it trends well for us usually.
You may be
Yeah,
right.
I think I would say I don't feel good about it because I know that he's going to make other visits. I know that other schools are on him, and it's going to be a situation where he could go to. Don't let me act like I follow Kentucky recruiting by any means, but he could go to Kentucky, and it may not be the Kentucky of yesteryear that we know, just because Cal is gone now. But it's still Kentucky basketball, right? It's still a big brand. It's going to have a lot of eyes on him. He could go there. He could shine. He could be the guy. Right, at Kentucky. And I think that could mean a lot to him, right? It's very easy to sell Kentucky than it is for Penny to say, hey, come to Memphis and just be another one of our guys and help us win, right? I guess it's all depending on how you're sold, right?
We'll see in the coming months because jumping to Penny's, the last coaches show was last evening of the year. So shout out to Channel 5, Matt Infield. They got that this is the first comments that Penny's made publicly, if you will. I mean, it was a couple weeks old in the recording. I think they said they recorded it middle of April, middle of this month, so about 2 weeks ago. But some interesting comments in there. DJ coming back. Penny is still confident that is happening. I think he said towards the end of the year, like literally end of the year, he felt like it was 60-40, 70-30 in our favor. It sounds like he's still leaning that direction. He thinks obviously that DJ wants to test the waters, wants to get that feedback, but ultimately thinks that he'll end up coming back and we have a good shot of landing him. So I think that's good. TJ, what would you put DJ? Where are you at on the David Jones coming back?
Man, it feels very Lester-esque.
I know.
I think that someone is
Where
going to
you're
give him
almost
a promise
counting on
and
it,
he's out
and
of
then
there.
at the last second, it's like, psych, I'm getting a good two-way deal and I'm going.
Well, I don't even know if he will get a good two-way deal. I think he's going to be told.
Well, I don't know that people
potential
thought
is
that
there.
Lester was going to be able to get that either, right?
Lester wasn't
Yeah.
on a two-way deal. That's the thing. There's a
Yeah, I
difference.
think-
Two-way deals are with the NBA franchise. He had a G League contract. He was specifically his first year out, but
Yeah,
Lester
he
was
just a G
told,
League.
yeah, that and so if you're getting a two-way deal, David's gone. If he's getting a two-way
Yeah.
deal, he's gone.
Okay,
Rightfully
even,
so.
Even if he gets a
500K, right?
G League. Yeah, what I think it's five. Is it 550? Did I make that up?
I think it may have gone up, but that's what it was.
Yeah. But
I
if
don't know,
he's
I
getting
think
a
that's just
two-way
guaranteed
deal,
money.
yeah, if he's getting a two-way deal, he's out of here, man. I promise you that. But yeah.
Do we
So-
think he's getting something that pushes him to go?
Mm. This is tough, right? Because I think if you think of David Jones at his peak, 100% worth a two-way deal. But then you start remembering that this dude cannot dribble the ball, but everything else he's really good at. So it's so
I
tough.
mean,
and,
dribbling
like,
is pretty.
Dribble is
important.
important. Playing
It's pretty
defense is
important in
important.
I don't know if they care that much about the defensive thing, honestly. I mean, yeah, they care, right? But I think that you could easily chalk that up to, hey, it was a bad scheme for me, right? You know, I was having to push it so much on offense that I was typically out of place on defense because we were fighting to get back because we played so fast. You know, I think you could talk yourself into an excuse there, if you will. But I think that there's a good chance he could get taken. He could be made a promise. Now, whether that happens or not, we'll find out. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
man.
Penny's quote Penny put it. He's not on any draft boards. Can he do some special things? Yes, but when you're not on draft boards, that usually means that they want you to come back and spend another year working on stuff.
That's the difference, I think, right? Like, I don't think Lester was on any draft boards either.
I don't
Lester
either.
did. I remember speaking to Lester right after he announced that he was staying in the draft, and he told me this was about a week or two before the draft happened. He fully anticipated being drafted. He was being told, according to his agent, that he was going to be 17 to 25, specifically with Golden State, wherever they landed in that mix.
Really?
And my response was, okay, that's cool and all. I just don't see it. And then what happened. He went undrafted.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're taking a risk. David is taking a major risk
sure.
if he stays in the draft. He's taking a major risk. The question is does he want to bet on himself? Because I mean, I would say, wouldn't you say, for all intents and purposes, that it's paid off for Lester at this point?
Sure.
Oh, I think it definitely worked out.
The same.
It definitely did.
Will the same happen with David? I don't know. I think David is a more volume. He's a more gifted scorer than Lester is, but in terms of an overall basketball player, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, they're different, and what they did well was different, right? Like, Lester's been a real true 3-and-D guy. Like, well, I mean, shoot, in the G League, he kind of became a little bit of a David Jones out there in the G League, putting up numbers and being able to score.
His development in the G League has been unbelievable. Wild. Seeing him play. Do you remember seeing him play against Memphis in that Dominican Republic game?
Yeah.
It was wild seeing him. Wild.
Next level.
I will also throw out there that David's probably going to be the shortest wing.
You had to say smallest and changed it.
No, I was trying to think about. I don't know what he's billed at, 6'6", and I don't think
It's also like this is like the worst draft ever.
But here's the thing: like, if he's in fact
it's a time to go, it's now.
Yeah, but if he's a 6'6" wing, I don't think they're going to take him. If everybody else around him is 6'8", 6'9", they're going to draft someone with that kind of wingspan and that type of height. It's just typically what they do, especially late in the second round. You're just going to take a flyer on a guy who has a wing with a 6'9" wingspan, or who is 6'9" without shoes and like a 7'2" wingspan, some absurd, Giannis mock. Essentially, you're not going to take David Jones, right? I don't know what you get out of taking David Jones there.
Yeah,
right. Just my opinion.
Well, just waiting to see what happens there, middle of June. Kind of the other thing that Penny commented on and talked about was not waiting forever to get his roster here and getting everybody on campus. He said he wants everyone here by June. He wants to establish and get back to that culture. Obviously last year, I think like more than half. How many? We had 14 or 15 guys on the roster last year. More than half of them missed the first session of summer, first 2 months. Weren't here for workouts, weren't here for conditioning. They couldn't do anything in the gym, basically, right? So he says he's adamant on getting everybody here for the first summer session, and that he's never had that. I think we've heard these words before about getting people here. I think he said before by the end of May, and then we're adding dudes come end of August. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, because if David comes back, you still have 5 spots as of today you have to fill. And if David isn't coming back, you've got 6.
It was so bad last year in terms of like players not showing up, not being there, not having the roster. So the name that I was hearing the most about from people inside the facility was Noah Stansberry.
No, stop.
Dead
you
serious.
Talking to us about Jourdain all the time.
I did hear a little bit about Jourdain, but I was hearing about how much of a dog Noah Stansberry was.
There were 3 people in the gym.
Yeah, exactly. How big of a dog could he have been?
Exactly.
It's Noah, it's JJ, and it's Temple Guy.
Yeah.
It was Caleb was there. Caleb was there the whole summer. Heard good things about Caleb, but then he had that injury. Not the real injury. He had some dinged up stuff going on, I think with his shoulder maybe or something like that. But anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, he mentioned in the show that everyone outside of David, nobody else is testing the waters that we have committed. So they're here. They're willing and ready to come right away. So they should all be here, at least who's committed so far. And then he talked about reestablishing his culture. Said one of his biggest regrets was that he got away from his identity. We talked about before defensively. He said, going back to who I am, and that's getting guys that are grit and grind and grunge. No knock on this year's team, but we are an offensive-minded team. Anyone that knows me knows that all my teams have started with defense. We're going to need shooting, obviously, but the shooters are going to be tough. The shooters are going to be grunge guys.
It's TJ Bamba, man.
That's exactly what you need.
That's TJ Bamba.
Is that Dane Danger, though?
He's a
bucket.
I know. Do you just take him for what he is? Right?
I don't think that quote says that every person that joins this team has to be a defensive-minded grunge guy. And maybe Dane's ready to come in and learn that. He knows that he needs to develop and improve on that side of the floor, and that Penny's the guy that can get him to do it.
Yeah, maybe so.
But if we're able to do that and get everybody here by June, start of session 1, I'll feel real good going into next year, because even Penny said it hadn't happened yet.
I mean, hell, it'd be nice to have everyone going through conditioning, playing basketball. I mean, we had guys last year, at least one
going through conditioning and not
not
bitching about it, saying, "Why are we running? It's June." Give me the guys that want to be out there, gritting and grinding and grunging.
About the grunge part.
Grunge, a little grungy. Get in there. He also, I thought that this was important, mentioned seeing the full picture of the entire season, the big picture, and how important AAC play is. Said we don't need guys coming in here not understanding what this league is about. In the past, once we get into conference, guys start disrespecting North Texas, UTSA, Rice, and you can't do that.
Dog, Penny did that last year. Get out of my face. Get out of my face with that. I'm telling you,
kind of start with you, my guy.
When he talks about stuff like this, he's talking to himself.
At least he's recognizing it.
But see,
Right.
that's perfectly fine.
Or
as long as he
understanding.
understands it.
He's understanding that he can't come out, no matter how he meant it, and say our season is pretty much our out of conference. He understands how the team ended up taking that last year, and he's learning from it, right? So now he knows I can't say things like that. It comes out
Yeah.
maybe not how I'm intending it to. And the guys, some guys take it literally and think that
It
they
came
can just
out-
show up and beat Rice with their eyes closed.
In that moment, and I'm going to choose to look at that glass half full. It came out in that moment the exact way Penny wanted it to come out. I think he's realizing that it was a mistake.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I can't sit here and blame him. I mean, we all think it. Everybody talks about outside of what we experienced last year and being like, well, maybe our conference is better and we deserve more respect. Everybody outside of our conference sucks. And they say that it sucks, and we know that it sucks. So he was just saying what everybody knew. But now he knows he can't say that because
You can't say that.
Guys onto the team buy into that, and they think they can just show up and Johnny Bravo hair it and not care.
Let's go.
Seems like a personal attack now.
It does
That
seem
had
personal.
it didn't have anything to do with you. The last bit of information that he dropped on the final coaches show of the year. TJ, let me know how you feel about this. A potential, he thinks he can get it done. Home and home series with Calipari's Razorbacks. He thinks he can get them on the schedule for next year. Do you think that's a game that happens in FedEx Forum, or is that like a Cal wants it in Little Rock kind of thing? Neutral site, that thing.
That's a good question. I think there's some win-win by having it at home and home. But if you can get it in Little Rock, I still think that's kind of a win-win too, honestly.
Maybe that's
it'd
how
just be nice, right?
Cal got Billy to commit to Arkansas. He said, we're going to go home and we're going to Memphis and play a ball game.
Potentially. I mean, I don't know if that's true. I mean,
that would get me fired up.
I would.
What would the reception for Cal be like if he stepped foot back into FedEx Forum this season with the Razorbacks on the sideline? Are you booing if you're in the building, TJ? I'm not. I'm over it.
I don't think so.
I'm over it.
I don't think I boo.
No, it's silly.
We're in a totally different world.
Hey, they booed KJ Lawson, so I think Memphis fans are
that
absolutely
was different.
Is it?
He threw up double birds, basically saying "F this place."
Well,
and him
and
Diedrich were laughing while we got blown out by a combined 80 points our last two games to SMU and UCF. Like it was funny. This shit's not funny. Also, I think I was in the building. It was not that intense. There were a couple people booing KJ. It wasn't like
it was
15,000 strong booing, dude.
I was in the press room when Ron Hunter and KJ came in there, and I was sitting there like, why is KJ crying? And why is Ron Hunter so pissed off? Like I had honestly had completely forgotten that one person up in the upper deck booed KJ. It was not that big of a deal.
It was not as big as people tried to make it out to be. I'll tell you, I'd be fired up.
A lot of virtue signaling happened after that whole event, where it was 100%. Crazy.
100%. I mean, that's yeah. I think there would definitely be people that boo, but I don't think it would be like. Well, I don't know. If it's like a heated top 20 matchup, I could see people really like just buying into the hype of the night. And
what do you get out of booing him, though?
It's fun.
What do you get out of booing anybody at any point in time?
That's my point. I mean, I just don't. I don't see it personally.
I don't know that I would do it, but nonetheless, I would love to see Arkansas on the schedule next year. Get me fired right up.
Yeah, I think
it would just it would add to our hella strong out of conference schedule that we already have going. With we've talked about it. No bye games to be seen.
Yeah,
Unless you count at San Francisco bye, which doesn't feel like it.
Doesn't feel like a bye.
Can we talk? What time is that game going to be? That's gonna be like an 11 p.m. tip or something.
Yeah, probably something like that.
That would still be 9 out there, so I doubt it's that late. But all right, Timothy. On that note, let's take a quick break. There's a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Is it fair to put pressure on one Taylor Jenkins?
I would say no. When you have players that love a coach as much as these players love Taylor Jenkins, then that says something about who he is as a coach and what that means to them. This is a playoff team next year, and if it doesn't look like it's going that way, then more than just a question of with Taylor Jenkins, it has to be a question of why is it not happening?
Yeah. Final verdict, Taylor Jenkins, we on your ass. No, good point.
I ain't on your ass. I'm not on your ass.
Once again, good coaches find a way, no matter what your situation looks like, to have key moments in the season where you're saying, man, that team played way better than what they're supposed to be doing. And we became that team. Hey, Final verdict, Taylor Jenkins. We fucks with you. Just don't be on the bullshit. Just don't be on the bullshit, Taylor Jenkins.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. The UFC pre-fight show, the pre-weigh-in show, we're ranking all the Centennial cards and the matches that were in those Centennial cards. 3 out of the 4 of them had Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway as the number 1 fight in all the 100, 200, 300 cards before it happened.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody knew. Like, everybody knew this fight has no choice but to be total badass.
What I can never get enough of Max Holloway with. He probably had won that fight as they got into the 5th round. And he started, he probably had at least a split decision. Probably. Just based on strikes and volume and how he was going about his work. But when Justin said at the end of the fight, hey, let's get in the middle. I'm going to try to knock your ass out. Max said, okay, I'll try to knock your ass out too. And he got the better of him.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
We should have photoshopped Kenny's head onto Christian's body.
That'd be pretty funny.
Kenny's on the Bluff co-host there.
Speaking of, let me tell you, that commercial, we talked about the UFC 300 event, the Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje fight. That was awesome.
I don't know what that means.
Well, because we over on the Bluff enjoy a good UFC fight. And so we talked about that fight. And let me tell you, there's a community that you don't mess with or get facts wrong on. And that is the UFC, the mixed martial arts community. Because
Gabe, I was going to say biker gangs.
Gabe said something in that clip where he said Justin Gaethje called Max Holloway to the middle and said, I'm going to knock your ass out. In that moment, I was like, actually, it was Max Holloway that called Justin Gaethje to the middle. There was about 10 comments. Oh my God. There were about 10 comments on the YouTube video, on the clip going, you're such a lame. You're such a casual. That was Max that did. I was like, dang, you can't even get that wrong.
Gabe is both lame and he's casually lame.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Gabe.
Hey, by the way,
I'll never see this.
It is Gabe's birthday, Thursday. But Gabe just got back from Curacao. He went to Curacao with his wife on a beach trip, and he he showed us his ass tan line before the show today. It was pretty incredible.
What do you mean by that?
I'm not upset that I missed that.
You should have seen it. You would have liked it.
I don't think so.
Ghostly white.
I just don't know how he got burned because that dude is a woolly mammoth of hair. I don't know how his skin got burnt. How does the sun UV rays get through that?
I mean, he's down there by the equator, man.
That carpet of hair all over his body.
The sun down there is a different level of sun.
That is true.
It can eat through carpet, basically, is what you're saying.
I mean, it probably singed his hair.
Yeah, he sort of smell. What do I?
Burnt
Why do
hair
I smell
on the
hair?
beach next to Gabe.
I smell burnt hair. Mixed with suntan lotion.
Timothy, NFL draft. You're a big NFL draft guy.
It's the best draft.
We continued the streak of having no Tigs drafted. There were some out there who thought that other than Blake Watson would continue this, re-establish the streak of Tigers, but continue the streak of running back Tigers to get drafted. He was up on Mel Kiper's best available for a while and never got taken. Am I right that Mel referred to us as running back you at some point this weekend? Did I see that
happen?
I
think that's true.
That's a man that knows what he's talking about. While we had no draftees, we did have 3 who were signed to undrafted free agent deals. Blake Watson being one of those. Am I right that he's getting $250 on his deal and a $25,000 signing bonus with the Broncos?
Broncos, yeah.
And he is being joined by teammate in Broncos Nation, Jalen Allen, who's getting, I think, 110 he signed, and then a $10,000 signing bonus. And then the third, this one kind of caught me off guard, to be honest with you. Joe Skates signed in Jacksonville. I don't know the details of his signing, but 3 Tigs getting picked up after the draft ended with free agent deals.
Yeah. I mean, like Blake Watson not getting drafted is not the end of the world, honestly, right? I think you can get to a situation where 20 some odd running backs were drafted. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but something like that.
Yeah.
It kind of gets to a point where you're almost better off not getting drafted because you can get some of these super lucrative deals. Kind of what he just got. What was it? 250. Yeah, 250 with a $25,000. Yeah, that's a lot of money, right? I don't think there's anything to scoff at by any means.
Is that stuff? Is that 250 guaranteed, or is it just a? Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
And I don't know that it's the best fit for him, right? I mean, they drafted Aldrich. They being the Broncos drafted Aldrich Estime, so they brought in a running back who's more of a power runner, right? He kind of fits the mold of what they already have in Javonte Williams and Samaje P. Ryan more so. So Blake is a good change of pace. So I guess if you're looking for any type of pro there, he is not like the others that are already on roster. So that could set him apart. It's just anytime you see a drafted running back go right before or go to a place where your guy has signed to, it's just less potential carries his way. So that's the only reason it's not that great.
But hey, all he needs is a chance. You give BW a chance, he's going to make the most of it.
Well, I mean, if you can think back to how Alvin Kamara was used with the Saints, I mean, that's totally the same way that you could use. Why are you making that face?
I'm just saying, you're calling Blake Watson the next Alvin Kamara?
I mean, similar skill set in the terms that they can catch the ball and do some nice things with it. Yeah, I don't think that's
out of the backfield.
Okay. Jalen Allen's a weird one though, because I think he's actually going to play an outside linebacker position, which is a little bit different than what he's been here. Right? He's kind of just been at times an outside linebacker, but not often playing within like a 2-point stance. Right? He's normally dropping his hand and he's rushing off the edge. So being taken as an actual linebacker is interesting, but maybe it'll pan out for him.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to those guys. Glad The three of them were picked up. But interesting to follow along, see what they're able to make of it. Timothy.
Don't
Let me
forget
ask
about
you-
Jeff Canton.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Jeff
Mm.
Canton. This one's interesting to me.
I did
because-
see a Canadian Football League official. That was the official league tweeting this, correct? Had him projected was that number one overall?
One
in the Canadian
overall
Football
pick
League?
in the Canadian Football League. Yeah.
When is the
Hell
Canadian?
yeah. Let's see. Let me find out.
I don't know. I can look that up. He did
It's
get
got to
a
be
camp
coming out
invite.
soon. I mean, it's soon, right? He got an NFL camp invite.
Yeah, to the Dolphins, but it's kind of like one of those situations where it's like,
It's tomorrow.
is it?
The draft is
Hey,
tomorrow.
we're gonna
tomorrow.
be too late.
Well, it's been yesterday by the time you guys are hearing this. But projected number one overall, that would be pretty sweet for Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, just it's an interesting move to just basically kind of put the NFL to the wayside, just because you could potentially be the number one pick in the CFL draft.
I feel like Jeff is the kind of. I don't watch a whole lot of CFL, but I feel like Jeff could really tear up the CFL.
Dude, he could make
I
he could make $1 million as the number
In
one.
the CFL,
Like, yeah.
really?
Well,
Is that a million CSD or US? I don't know. What's the Canadian short? Is that a Canadian dollars a milli?
Maybe, but he's also a Canadian citizen, so he wouldn't have to pay the taxes that American football players would have to go and pay over there.
Wow.
let me read this out, right? This is a little blurb at cfl.ca, right? This is straight from the heart of the CFL. It's like a mock draft, really. When I think of potential first overall pick, that player has to be some combination of elite athleticism, on-field production, and consistency mixed with general positive health. Jeff
And just
Canton
an
has
overall
all of this.
outstanding Canadian citizen.
Yeah. Has all of this. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it seems like they love the idea of Jeff Canton going number one.
That would be cool. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah. I don't know how many people get those bragging
Jeff,
rights.
I hope he gets. I hope at this point in time this is playing, he was the number one overall pick, and he gets his millie. That would be really good for Jeff. Be really excited for him.
Ooh, bad news. I found another mock draft that doesn't have him going number one.
Do they have him in the top 3?
No.
Well, I don't trust that one. The official CFL tweeted the one with him overall number 1, so I'm going with that one.
They have him going 19.
I don't know what this other one is that you got. What?
It's
That
from
is a
Athlon
huge
Sports.
gap.
That is a hell of a drop.
Athlon doesn't follow the CFL. We're not going with Athlon Sports. What? They big in the CFL over there at Athlon?
I have no clue. But
Yeah.
there's another linebacker out there, Joel DeBlanco from Cincinnati, that's getting a lot of love.
He is not better than Jeff Canton, I'll tell you that much.
Well, this one definitely had 3 down nation as Jeff.
Who
going
has the
three.
number 1? What is it, the Eskimos? Who's got the number 1 pick?
The Edmonton Elks, man. The Eskimos, get out of here.
Edmonton. Is it? What? Is that who has it, or you're saying that I was saying the name wrong?
They're the Edmonton Elks.
It is the
That's who has
Elks.
number 1. You called them the Eskimos, you clown.
Isn't there an Eskimos team? No, there's not.
I don't think so.
What?
The Rough
Who
Riders,
does-
I know that one.
Yeah, I know that one.
Stampede,
Who does,
Argonauts, Lions, Tiger Cats,
who does
Blue
Coaksy play
Bombers.
for?
The
He's been
Argonauts,
kinda- He does? Okay, that's what I thought. I knew it was a blue team.
Toronto Argonauts.
Alouettes.
He's kind of been. He's had
Killing
some.
He's killing it
Yeah,
over there.
He's had some highlights up there in Canada. Interesting. All right, Timothy, local SEC celebrity Paul Feinbaum was in town today, made some comments to the local media regarding the University of Memphis football program. Basically came out flat out and said, one, he was wrong about Coach Silverfield. 2 years ago said that we needed to move a different direction. He wasn't the guy for the job. Has since said he didn't know what he was talking about. And after last season, he thinks that Silverfield is the guy. He also went on record and said that the ACC and the Big 12 are both essentially, this is verbatim, effing idiots for not inviting Memphis to either one of their conferences. He said last year he does not understand why the ACC would have taken SMU. They bring nothing to the table. And a couple of years ago does not understand why the Big 12 would have invited Houston, Cincinnati, UCF, and not extended an invitation to us. Is he being sincere in those comments as an overall college football analyst, or is that a little bit of homerism coming out of the former White Station graduate from the
I
university?
think both can be
Is it a little bit
true.
of both? A little of both?
Yeah, I think both can be true. Because there were
He
definitely
knows his
times where,
audience.
yeah, there were times where even you and myself were like, maybe Ryan is not the guy for the job. Like,
100%.
the writing was on the wall for a bit there, and then he started turning things around. Like, yes, the schedule was a little favorable, but that doesn't guarantee you a win. I think we've seen teams with equally as bad schedules not win those games and finish out, right? See Memphis 2 years ago, where we were up and then losing the lead, right? So you can very easily turn those into losses. So I mean, I guess in the hindsight, right, it looks pretty good, but is the ACC dumb? Effing dumb, I think was your quote.
He didn't
His quote.
literally say that. I had it a little bit in there. A little flavor.
So the ACC is interesting because I think they wanted to add SMU for the academic side of things, and then obviously the SMU comes with that money, right?
Well,
You were
because
doing it
they
for free.
added them for free.
Yeah, you're doing it for free. So of course it's a win-win to plant the ACC flag in Texas for free. Like, why would you not take that up?
Yeah.
And no one knows the answer of why Memphis didn't get the ad with Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, and who are they inviting? BYU?
Yeah.
I think BYU was the fourth, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Basically, he said that for the longest period of time, what kind of held Memphis back was one, money, and two, lack of sort of on-field success and proving that they belonged. And he said now they have both of those. The FedEx deal shows that. You've got he said not only in the United States, but one of the globally largest companies that's recognized worldwide is backing this program. Obviously, the stadium renovations, the money that's being funneled in for that, and then the success of 2019. And then he threw in our 10-3 season last year as kind of an indicator of us proving that we belong at that level. So nice comments from Paul. Obviously, that's kind of big coming from somebody that's so favorably kind of planted in SEC country, such a big SEC guy. So kind of nice to hear that. But we'll kind of see how that all plays. I think a little bit of that is just him being back home, being the nostalgia of it all, right? He grew up going to games at the Liberty Bowl, cheering for the University of Memphis State at the time. So I think Paul was being a little bit homerish, but I do agree with him. We should be there, and the call could be coming soon. Who knows? We could be giving the old Irish goodbye to the American before you know it. And with that, Timothy, it's time to rate this bad boy.
What do you think about this can?
Hi, you guys know it. Timothy and I are not about the similarity of cans, such as how Hampline does with Natch, and the similarities there. I mean, I will give them some credit. This one's got the color going. They've thrown in a 4-leaf clover. He's got the Irish top hat on. He's waving the Ireland flag, so I'll give them that. It's a little bit better. It's still not a big inviting, exciting can. So I feel like it's like real middle of the line, like it's like a 6-1, can.
Interesting.
Guys, please hold.
Yeah, I think we're getting.
I think we have legitimately breaking news, Kenneth. Are you seeing this? Can you check on the interwebs for us?
I'm
We're
not
getting-
seeing it, but
Timothy and I are getting text messages that Musa is not coming to Memphis.
He is not committed anywhere.
may
He
is-
confirmed that himself.
Never mind. He has tweeted, "I did not commit nowhere yet. Still processing where I'll be playing next year."
No, that's not breaking news.
Sorry.
You're good.
I'll just say Schlong 14 misled us. He said, "Damn, no reunion with Musa." So he obviously got by something. Okay, continue with your can rating.
Well, because there's been rumors that he's committed to Oklahoma State today. Like that's been the rumor, is that he's already like in the background committed to Oklahoma State, but that's not true.
What was your can rating, Trey? It threw me off. The
6-1. 6-1.
6-1's about right.
I didn't want to go 6 flat because it just feels rookie-esque. And I'm going to give him a little bit of credit for the 4-leaf clover. But
yeah,
again,
I'm gonna say
it's just your tradish Hampline style can.
I'm gonna say 6.3, 6.3, just because of the coloring. You do get the flag worked in. It's a little shiny. Ooh. Then you get the 4-leaf clover. I think it's fitting. I probably a little bit. We probably should have had this for St. Patrick's Day, but we don't plan accordingly.
Why did
you
we
think about the
not
beer?
do that? Very
I
good.
don't plan that stuff out. I just
Big
buy beer.
Big fan of the Irish Goodbye. I will drink this again. I wish that I had another one downstairs because I would probably drink it right now. This was delicious.
Seems like it bodes well for the score.
It's not going to be the highest score I've ever given, but this is going to be up there. I really enjoyed this one.
Okay, let's hear the score.
It's a pint. I finished this good. 5.2 alcohol content. Red ale's great. It's up to like a 7.8.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I
mean,
have
I don't think it gets
so
to
we're right
I don't
there.
think it gets in the 8s, but this is a damn good brew.
Yeah, I have it at 7.7. I definitely could drink 2 of them. It has enough flavor. I do think I need to like wash my mouth out after between the 2. I could drink some water here and be a little bit better about it all. But it's pretty good. I'd say it's pretty good beer.
I would even
recommend
maybe
this
get a
one.
sixture of this. Maybe not a sixture
maybe.
of pints in one sitting. That would be a lot.
What?
I said not a sixer of pints.
Oh,
Traditional
yes,
12-ounce 6-pack.
I thought you were saying not a sixer, but a pint. I'm like, yeah, man, we just did that.
Oh, no, I crushed this pint. This was done. I could have been done with this in minute 17. We're now at an hour.
Try to space it out.
I had to make it last. Closing remarks, Timothy?
Musa has not committed anywhere.
He has not.
We're good there. We didn't
Popular
miss out on
belief,
everybody.
Musa has not committed as of now. TJ's hair still looks damn good. A mere 13 hours after he made it. We'll be back next week to see if Timothy's hair is still full of body and holding. What pomade do you use? Let the people know. We might need to get a sponsor.
Oh man, you would ask me that. I don't know the name of it, man.
Medium hold, matte finish.
Don't let me lie. I don't know. My wife bought it.
Interesting.
I can't even lie to you.
All right. Well, we'll be back virtually again next week. Come with a hot beer. Stay for our cold takes.
It's called Lay Right. I found it.
These Lay Right pomade sponsored tonight's episode.
Lay Right Natural Matte Cream Ounce from Amazon.
I knew it was a matte. There's no shine in that hair. Kenny, you see that?
There's a little shine.
It still looks damn good.
It does. All right. Come back next week to see TJ's hair again. Bye.
I mean, I'm going to wear the helmet so you can't.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Like and subscribe at Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports.